Have you ever felt an inner pull, a force within you that you can't fully explain, that seems to guide you in directions you never planned to go? Maybe it's the emotional extremes, the deep highs and lows, or those urges that rise up in you, often unexpected and difficult to control. You might feel embarrassed or even ashamed by them. You may have questioned yourself, why do I feel this way? Why do I react the way I do? What's wrong with me? The world around you may point at these feelings, labeling them as weaknesses, flaws, or signs of instability. But what if I told you that these very things, these addictions and emotional currents that seem to overwhelm you, are not mistakes? They aren't just random, unexplainable forces. They are, in fact, divinely designed tools placed in you for a higher purpose. A purpose that goes far beyond anything you've yet realized. This video is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about yourself. Today, we're going to uncover the divine truth behind the things you've struggled with, hidden, and misunderstood. The emotional waves, the addictive tendencies, the compulsions that have seemed like burdens on your soul. What if they are actually divine signposts, part of the sacred design that God has woven into your life? What if these traits, which others view as imperfections, are actually the very qualities that make you one of the chosen ones? In this awakening, you'll see that far from being something to hide or fix, these elements of your inner world are preparing you for something great. For far too long, you've carried the weight of judgment both from yourself and from the world. Society tells you to suppress, to hide, to change these parts of you that don't fit their standard of normal. But in truth, these addictions and emotional extremes are not weaknesses to be ashamed of. They are, in fact, the very tools God has given you to shape your destiny. They are the markers that set you apart, and what's truly remarkable is that you are not alone in this experience. If you're watching this, it's because God has been working behind the scenes in your life, crafting a unique path that only you are meant to walk. These traits you've struggled with, the feelings you've hidden, the intense urges that overwhelm you, they are all part of a divine purpose that's been shaping you since the moment you were born. It's time to understand why you've always felt different. It's time to embrace the truth that those feelings, those flaws, those tendencies that others can't understand, are not accidents. They are divine signposts, pointing you toward your true purpose. You've been walking a road that many have not understood, and it hasn't always been easy. But the time for confusion is over. The veil is lifting. You are about to discover that your unique characteristics are not signs of instability. They are the spiritual gifts that prepare you for a life of purpose, a life that only the chosen ones can lead. This message is not random. It's a divine awakening designed to help you see yourself for who you truly are. The truth that is about to unfold will change how you see yourself forever. You were never meant to blend into the world around you. You weren't designed to follow the same paths others walk. Your journey, though difficult and misunderstood by many, is a sacred mission. You've always known this on a deep, subconscious level. There's something within you that has resisted the labels and limitations placed on you by the world. You've felt that divine pull, that gentle whisper in your heart that says, you are meant for something more. In us. What you're about to learn is not just a change in perspective, it's a revelation that will align you with your true purpose. These addictions and emotional intensities, which you've long tried to suppress or hide, are actually the tools of transformation. The very things God placed inside you to shape you into the person you were always meant to be. As we journey through this revelation, you'll see how each of these emotional currents, each pull towards certain behaviors, has been a step in your divine preparation. As you listen, you will begin to realize that the struggles you've faced, the inner battles you've fought, are part of a grander design. They are the training grounds for something far greater than you've ever imagined. God has allowed these inner urges and addictions to flow through you, not as a punishment, but as divine preparation for the calling that has always been yours. So stay with me, because what we uncover today is going to change the way you view your life and your destiny. You'll soon understand why you've always felt different, why these tendencies have never disappeared, and how they've always been part of your divine purpose. One of the most perplexing and misunderstood tendencies that many of the chosen ones experience is an almost inexplicable pull towards isolation. If you've ever found yourself retreating from the world, pulling away from conversations, or distancing yourself from even the people you love, you might have felt confused by this urge. Others may label you as antisocial, cold, or distant, but deep down, you know this isn't the case. It's not that you don't care, or that you're avoiding others. There's something deeper at work, something divine guiding your steps into solitude. This addiction to isolation is not a flaw or weakness, rather, it is part of God's preparation for you. The truth is that God uses isolation in the lives of His chosen ones to recalibrate their minds, to refine their spirits, and to sharpen their intuition in ways that the noise of the world simply cannot. The pull towards being alone, away from distractions and the expectations of others, is not a curse but a blessing. It is a divine assignment to cultivate deeper spiritual awareness. This solitude, while it may feel uncomfortable at times, is actually where the soul can undergo its most profound transformations. While the world may see this isolation as a sign of disconnection, God sees it as a sacred space for connection. You are being called away from the noise of the world to create room for the whispers of heaven. God is inviting you into silence, not as a punishment, but as a place of clarity. In this silence, there is a unique opportunity for your spirit to attune itself to the divine frequency, to hear God's voice more clearly than ever before. It is in this stillness that God speaks to the deepest parts of your soul, guiding you towards your purpose and revealing things that the world is too distracted to see. Many people never experience this kind of solitude, and some even fear it. But for you, it's different. You crave it. You don't feel drained by isolation, you feel rejuvenated. While others may dread being alone, you know instinctively that this time apart is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of divine strength being built within you. You have an inner knowing that this separation from the world is necessary for the work God is doing in your life. God isn't calling you to isolation to punish you or to leave you abandoned. Quite the opposite, He's calling you to this space to recalibrate your soul. Just as an athlete isolates themselves in training to sharpen their skills and focus on their performance, so too is your spirit being fine-tuned for something greater. This time alone allows you to detox from the distractions, negative energies, and expectations that the world places upon you. It gives you the space to rest in His presence, where you can hear Him speak to you in ways that would be drowned out by the noise of daily life. It's important to remember that this solitude is not the same as loneliness. Many of the chosen ones experience solitude, and while it might feel like a temporary absence from the company of others, it is in fact a spiritual presence. In the quiet, your soul is not empty. It is being filled with the wisdom and peace of God. This sacred solitude is the training ground for deeper understanding and spiritual growth. You are not alone. You are in the presence of the Creator, preparing for what lies ahead. Your intuition sharpens during these times of solitude. You begin to notice things you've never noticed before. You sense spiritual shifts that others overlook. Your awareness expands, and you begin to understand the hidden workings of the universe. What others may dismiss as coincidences, you now see as divine orchestration. This heightened sense of awareness is a direct result of the time you spend alone, listening, discerning, and allowing God to work on your spirit. When you're in solitude, you often feel a heightened sensitivity to the energies around you. You may notice changes in people's moods, shifts in the atmosphere, or even unspoken tensions in a room. This sensitivity is a gift, one that allows you to discern what's truly happening beyond the surface. It's not just an emotional sensitivity, it's a spiritual radar that God has fine-tuned within you. You may be the first to sense danger, the first to recognize a lie, or the first to feel when something is off. These are not signs of weakness, but signs of divine preparation. Your ability to pick up on these subtle shifts is a direct result of the solitude you've embraced, where God has activated your spiritual senses. Moreover, isolation allows God to restore you. The world tries to break you through its disappointments, its rejections, its demands. But in isolation, God heals those broken parts of your spirit that the world can never fix. In the silence, He restores your inner strength, removes the weights that others have placed on you, and fills you with divine peace that surpasses understanding. The more you withdraw from the noise, the more you step into the fullness of who you were meant to be. This is why your isolation feels different from what others experience. While they may feel drained or depleted from being alone, you feel replenished and renewed. You might even find that when you return to the world, you do so with a sense of clarity and purpose that wasn't there before. You are returning as a stronger, more attuned version of yourself. You are emerging from this period of solitude with a new strength, wisdom, and insight that others can only dream of. So, when you feel the pull to be alone, don't resist it, embrace it. Understand that God is calling you to a place of transformation, where He is recalibrating your spirit for the great things that are to come. This time of solitude is not something to fear or avoid. It is a sacred invitation to deepen your connection with the divine and to prepare for the destiny that is unfolding before you. You are not abandoning the world. You are stepping into a space where God can do His most powerful work in your life. In this quiet space, God is building something strong within you, a strength that will carry you through the challenges ahead. You may not see it yet, but this isolation is preparing you for the next stage of your spiritual journey. And when the time is right, you will emerge from this sacred solitude, stronger, clearer, and more ready than ever to fulfill the divine purpose you were always meant to carry. As we continue on this journey of self-discovery, we come to another divine trait that the chosen ones carry: an intense sensitivity to emotions. This is not just an ordinary sensitivity, but an overwhelming intensity that shakes you to your core, a sensitivity that often feels like a spiritual earthquake. For many, this emotional sensitivity is a burden they long to escape, something that makes them feel exposed, raw, and vulnerable. The emotions you feel can be overwhelming, often more intense than those around you seem to experience. You cry harder, love deeper, feel joy more profoundly, and, yes, you also feel pain with an intensity that no one can fully understand. And yet, this is not a curse. This is a divine gift, one that holds the key to your spiritual calling. For the chosen ones, this heightened emotional awareness is not random, it serves a higher purpose. God has wired you with an emotional depth that allows you to pick up on things others can't. Where others may overlook a subtle shift in the atmosphere, you can feel it in your very soul. Where people may brush aside a fleeting emotion or reaction, you can sense its true weight, its spiritual significance. You are tuned to a frequency that many cannot hear, and this frequency is the voice of divine discernment, guiding you through a world that often hides its true nature beneath the surface. Your sensitivity is like a spiritual radar, constantly attuned to the unseen forces around you. You absorb the emotions of others, sometimes to the point where it feels as if you are carrying their pain along with your own. You may walk into a room and feel the tension long before anyone speaks a word. You may sense when someone is lying, even when every word they say is cloaked in sweetness. You are able to feel the unspoken struggles of those around you, even if they try to mask their pain with a smile. This sensitivity allows you to detect hidden motives and spiritual dangers before they manifest, keeping you one step ahead in your journey. While the world may label this emotional sensitivity as fragility or weakness, in the divine realm, it is a shield. This ability to feel deeply is not a sign of being broken, it is a sign that you are spiritually armed. The more sensitive you are, the more finely tuned your discernment becomes. You are able to perceive what others cannot, to see beyond the veil of superficial appearances and into the heart of matters. This is not just a gift, it is a tool of protection. It warns you when something is not right, when someone is not being truthful, when the atmosphere is charged with danger or deceit. Your sensitivity serves as a spiritual radar, alerting you to the threats that others might miss. The beauty of this emotional intensity lies in its ability to connect you deeply to those around you, while simultaneously protecting you from harm. You have the capacity to walk into a room and, without a single word being spoken, feel the underlying currents that shape the interactions happening there. You can sense when someone is suffering, even when they wear a mask of happiness. This emotional radar allows you to offer comfort where it's needed, to step in when someone is silently struggling, and to offer empathy in ways that others cannot. But this sensitivity doesn't just help you understand others, it also helps you understand yourself. Through the deep waves of emotion that wash over you, God is teaching you about your own heart. This heightened emotional awareness is like a mirror, showing you parts of yourself that may have been hidden, parts of your soul that need healing, and parts of your being that are called to be activated. Your emotions are the compass by which you navigate your spiritual journey, guiding you toward alignment with God's will. Every emotional high, every intense low, is a lesson in resilience, discernment, and faith. The emotional intensity you experience is also a protective tool. You may not always understand it in the moment, but every emotional wave, every spiritual earthquake, is part of God's design to prepare you for the battles ahead. This emotional sensitivity helps you stay connected to the divine, to stay rooted in the truth even when the world around you is shifting. Your emotions serve as a guide, a protector, and a shield, ensuring that you stay in alignment with your divine purpose. The intensity of your emotions is not meant to break you, it is meant to build you. With every emotional experience, you are being fortified, not just for your own spiritual growth, but to fulfill the mission you were placed on this earth to accomplish. Your sensitivity to emotions is a tool for spiritual discernment, and God is using it to sharpen you into a warrior, capable of standing firm in the face of adversity. Just as an athlete builds strength by pushing their limits, so too does your soul build resilience by experiencing the fullness of emotion. Every wave of emotional intensity that passes through you only strengthens your ability to discern, to understand, and to heal. You may wonder at times, why does everything affect me so deeply? Why can't I just be normal, feel like everyone else, and move on with my life? The truth is, you were never meant to be normal. Your emotional intensity is a divine gift that enables you to carry the weight of the world's brokenness, while also bringing healing to it. You are called to be a vessel of divine compassion, and your sensitivity allows you to pour love and healing into places others cannot reach. You feel deeply because you were designed to love deeply, to heal deeply, and to serve deeply. And when you question whether your emotions are too much, whether you feel too strongly, know this: God has equipped you with the strength to handle it. Your emotional sensitivity is not a burden, it is a badge of honor. It is proof that you are being prepared for a divine assignment, that you are being shaped into the spiritual warrior you were always meant to be. Through every wave of emotion, God is refining you, preparing you, and teaching you how to walk with wisdom, discernment, and compassion in a world that desperately needs both. So, embrace this sensitivity, for it is not something to hide or be ashamed of. It is your spiritual radar, your gift, your protection. The world may not understand it, but heaven does. And God has placed it in you for a reason, to guide you, protect you, and prepare you to fulfill the extraordinary purpose He has for your life. The third divine trait that marks the chosen ones is a relentless, often overwhelming urge to help others, especially those who would never offer anything in return. You may have noticed it in yourself, a deep-seated need to give, to serve, to show love, even when you know that the person you're helping may never return the favor, or may even overlook your efforts entirely. This overwhelming desire to care for others, to lift them up, to pour your love and energy into them despite the lack of reciprocity, is a defining characteristic of the chosen ones. But rather than being seen as a sign of naivety or weakness, this trait is, in fact, one of the most powerful gifts God has placed within you. It is not a flaw, it is part of your divine calling. At first glance, this can feel like a burden. You give and give, yet often feel that your efforts go unnoticed or unappreciated. You pour into others, offering love, understanding, and compassion, but when it's your turn to receive, you feel that those very people may not be there for you. It can be exhausting, and at times, it may feel like you're pouring from an empty cup. But here's the truth. This urge to help others, especially those who can't or won't help you in return, is not a curse. It is a divine assignment. God has placed this insatiable drive within you because you are a bridge, not a wall. You are a channel through which His love and support flow to others, sometimes even when they are unaware of it. and sometimes, especially when they don't deserve it. You may wonder why you feel this way. Why do you feel compelled to give so freely, to invest so deeply, to care so profoundly? The answer lies in your divine design. The chosen ones are not meant to live selfishly, confined to their own little worlds. They are created to connect, to heal, to build, and to restore. You are not meant to be a wall that blocks others off from the love and support they need. You are a bridge, an instrument of divine healing in a broken world. And while it may seem like an unbalanced exchange at times, you must remember that your giving is not about receiving from others. It is about fulfilling your purpose and walking in the mission that God has laid out for you. You see, the world is full of brokenness, and many people walk around with wounds that they cannot see or speak about. Some wear masks of pride, others carry the burden of shame, but all of them are silently struggling in their own ways. Your heart, however, is attuned to this pain. You can feel it even when others hide it, and because of this, you cannot simply walk past someone in need. You cannot ignore the silent cries, the unspoken hurts, the despair hidden behind a smile. You are wired to help because you have the capacity to see people for who they truly are, not for the masks they wear or the roles they play, but for the souls that are longing for love, for healing, and for restoration. This is not an accident. It's your divine purpose. You are a vessel of compassion, a bearer of light, and your mission is to be a source of healing for those who cannot heal themselves. This is why you are often drawn to people who seem to have nothing to offer in return, or those who have hurt you before. You feel a divine calling to love them, not because of who they are, but because of who you are in God's eyes. He has placed that love in your heart, and it's not for you to hoard or keep to yourself. It is meant to be shared, to be poured out, to be given away freely, even when the return doesn't come in the way you expect. Now, this is not to say that helping others doesn't come at a cost. The act of giving without expecting anything in return can feel draining, and it may sometimes leave you feeling unappreciated or overlooked. But here is where God's truth shines through. Every act of love, every moment of service, every sacrifice you make on behalf of others is being seen by heaven. While others may not acknowledge it, God does. Your willingness to give without receiving is a reflection of His own heart. He gave His only Son for humanity, knowing that many would reject Him, ignore Him, or misunderstand His love. And yet, He gave freely. This divine love is what you are called to emulate in the world. You are called to give without looking for anything in return, to love without expecting anything in exchange, to serve without concern for your own reward. God has chosen you to be His instrument of love and healing, and this urge to help is a tool He uses to fulfill His divine will. The people you help may never repay you, but your reward comes not from them, it comes from God. He sees every tear, every act of service, and every moment of sacrifice. You are building up treasures in heaven that will last far beyond the fleeting rewards of this earth. Furthermore, this divine assignment to help others isn't just about the people you serve, it's also about you. Every time you help someone, you grow in compassion, in wisdom, and in strength. God uses these acts of service to refine your heart, to purify your intentions, and to prepare you for greater works in the future. Every time you give of yourself, you are becoming more aligned with God's will, more attuned to His heart, and more in tune with the divine plan He has for you. This is why the urge to help others, even when it feels like a sacrifice, is actually a blessing in disguise. Through your service, you are not just transforming the lives of others, you are being transformed yourself. You are walking the path of divine purpose, becoming the hands and feet of God on earth, and in doing so, you are fulfilling the mission you were always meant to walk. So, the next time you feel that tug, to help, to give, to pour into someone who may never return the favor, remember this: you are doing exactly what God created you to do. You are fulfilling your divine calling, and you are a vital part of His plan to heal and restore the world. Do not grow weary in doing good, for in due season, you will reap the reward of your labor. Heaven sees your heart, and that is all that matters. Keep being the bridge because, through you, many will find the love, healing, and restoration they need. As we continue uncovering the divine traits that mark the chosen ones, we come to a force that drives them like an internal compass, an unyielding craving for truth. For many of the chosen ones, lies, manipulation, and half-truths are not just uncomfortable, they are unbearable. There is something deep within their spirit that refuses to tolerate anything less than the full, unfiltered truth. This relentless need for truth is not simply a personality quirk, it is a divine instinct, a sacred calling to stand firm in the light of authenticity, no matter how uncomfortable or difficult the truth may be. The craving for truth often feels like a burden to the chosen ones. They cannot simply ignore the inconsistencies they sense, nor can they allow themselves to be deceived, even when the world around them operates in shades of gray. While others may accept half-truths or turn a blind eye to deception, the chosen ones cannot. Their spirits are calibrated for truth, and without it, they feel lost, unaligned, and spiritually starved. This craving is not a flaw, it is a divine gift designed to protect them and to guide them toward clarity. In a world filled with noise, confusion, and distortion, truth is the lifeline that keeps them grounded, focused, and aligned with God's purpose. For the chosen ones, truth is more than just factual information. It is the foundation of their survival, both spiritually and emotionally. Truth is their compass, and without it, they cannot navigate the complexities of life. They are equipped with a spiritual instinct that detects deception from miles away. While others may be easily swayed by sweet words or charming facades, the chosen ones can sense when something isn't quite right. This deep-seated ability to discern falsehoods and illusions is not something they learned. It is something that God placed in them to ensure they stay on the path He has set for them. This craving for truth shapes their lives in profound ways. It can make their relationships challenging, as they are unwilling to settle for anything less than honesty, even if it means confronting uncomfortable realities. It can also isolate them at times, as they may find themselves at odds with those who choose to live in denial or who manipulate situations to their advantage. The chosen ones can feel like they are swimming against the current, refusing to accept the lies and half-truths that others have grown comfortable with. This can be exhausting, but it is necessary. Their mission is to bring clarity, to expose the lies, and to usher in the light of truth wherever they go. The purpose of this divine craving for truth is not just about personal clarity, it is about protection. Lies and manipulation are weapons that the enemy uses to steer people away from their divine purpose. Deception is one of the most powerful tools of darkness, because it clouds the mind and distorts reality. The chosen ones, with their spiritual radar finely attuned to the truth, are able to see through the lies and avoid the traps set for them. This gift of discernment protects them from spiritual, emotional, and even physical dangers. It shields them from being led astray by falsehoods, and it enables them to keep their hearts aligned with God's will, even when the world around them is pushing them in a different direction. But this craving for truth also protects others. The chosen ones are not just discerning for their own sake. Their ability to see through deception serves a greater purpose. They are called to be bearers of truth, to shine a light in places where darkness has taken root. Their divine mission requires them to confront lies head-on, to expose what has been hidden, and to bring truth into spaces where falsehoods have reigned. While the world may shy away from uncomfortable truths, the chosen ones are tasked with speaking them boldly. Whether it's in their relationships, their communities, or the world at large, they carry the responsibility of unveiling the truth that sets people free. This addiction to truth doesn't just impact the way the chosen ones interact with the world, it also profoundly shapes their relationship with themselves. The truth is their mirror, and they cannot live in denial about who they are or what they are called to do. They cannot hide from their own flaws or pretend to be something they are not. Their internal honesty is a driving force that pushes them towards self-awareness and spiritual growth. They are constantly striving to be authentic, to live in alignment with their true selves, and to strip away any masks or pretenses they may have worn in the past. This commitment to truth, both in their external world and within themselves, keeps them grounded and aligned with God's purpose for their lives. However, this addiction to truth can come at a cost. It can be painful to see things for what they truly are, especially when those truths challenge the status quo or shake the foundation of what you once believed. The chosen ones are often called to confront difficult realities, both about themselves and the world around them. This process of truth-seeking can be uncomfortable and even isolating, as it often involves letting go of false beliefs and accepting uncomfortable revelations. But the pain of confronting the truth is nothing compared to the freedom it brings. The chosen ones are not afraid to walk through this pain because they know that on the other side lies the clarity, the peace, and the strength to fulfill their divine calling. In fact, it is this very hunger for truth that shapes the chosen ones into spiritual warriors. The ability to face the truth, no matter how difficult, is what gives them the strength to stand firm in the face of adversity. They are not easily swayed by falsehoods or the opinions of others. They are anchored in the truth, and this anchoring gives them a foundation that cannot be shaken. Their unwavering commitment to truth becomes their shield and their sword, empowering them to face any challenge with the confidence that they are aligned with God's will. Ultimately, the craving for truth is not just about clarity, it is about transformation. As the chosen ones continue to seek out the truth in all things, they are continually refined, shaped, and purified. The truth sets them free, and in turn, they become vessels of freedom for others. Their pursuit of truth is not merely a personal journey. It is a divine mission that impacts the world around them. The more they seek the truth, the more they become a beacon of light, a source of clarity in a world that is often clouded by deception. And with each step they take toward truth, they become more fully aligned with the destiny that God has ordained for them. So, when you feel that inner pull, that deep craving for truth, embrace it. Know that this divine instinct is not a burden, it is a gift. It is your spiritual compass, your divine protection, and your calling to illuminate the darkness. The truth will lead you, guide you, and equip you to fulfill the purpose that only you can fulfill. As we continue our exploration of the divine traits that define the chosen ones, we come to one of the most powerful and often misunderstood forces within them: the internal pressure to achieve more. This is not just a desire to do well or a longing to succeed. It is a relentless, unshakable drive that pushes them to strive for excellence, even when no one is asking for it. It's the nagging feeling that no matter what they accomplish, there is always more to be done, a higher standard to reach, and a greater purpose to fulfill. While others may rest content with mediocrity or settle for good enough, the chosen ones cannot. The drive to be better, to do more, to grow continually, is not something they can turn off. It is a divine calling embedded deep within them. This pressure often feels like a weight, an invisible force that drives them forward when everything in the world around them may be telling them to slow down, to take it easy, to rest. It's the pressure that doesn't relent even when the world seems indifferent to their efforts. Many of the chosen ones struggle with this internal drive, feeling as though they are constantly running a race with no finish line in sight. But this drive, this internal pressure, is not a burden meant to break them. It is a divine responsibility, a part of the calling they have been chosen to carry. Unlike the pressures the world imposes through external expectations, this internal pressure is a force that comes from within the chosen ones themselves. It's not about pleasing others or proving something to the world. It's about fulfilling a higher calling, one that only they can carry out. God has placed this drive within them because they are destined for greatness. This pressure isn't meant to crush them, but to prepare them for spiritual leadership and high-impact roles that will leave a lasting mark on the world. The chosen ones are not just meant to exist, they are meant to rise. They are meant to lead, to guide, to influence, and to transform. The internal pressure they feel is part of the divine preparation process, shaping them into the leaders they were born to be. It's the fire that refines them, the weight that strengthens their resolve, and the force that pushes them beyond their limits. This pressure forces them to grow, to stretch, to evolve in ways that they never imagined possible. It is a tool of activation, designed to bring out their true potential. In a world where comfort and complacency are often seen as desirable goals, the chosen ones are different. They cannot sit still. They cannot settle for less than their best. This constant drive to achieve more, to push past the limits they thought they had, is not born from a desire for fame or recognition. It is born from a deeper understanding of their purpose. They know that they were created for something more, and they can't shake the sense that they are on the edge of a breakthrough, a moment of divine revelation that will take them to the next level of their journey. But this pressure isn't just about achieving external success or accomplishing tasks. It is deeply spiritual in nature. The chosen ones understand that their lives are not their own. They have been called to serve a greater purpose. And this internal pressure is part of the divine activation of that purpose. God doesn't waste the lives of his chosen ones. He has placed a specific calling on their lives, one that requires them to rise above their circumstances, to rise above their fears, and to rise above the limitations that the world has placed on them. This pressure is not about competition with others. It is about fulfilling the divine destiny that God has prepared for them. The most powerful thing about this internal pressure is that it is always accompanied by the strength to bear it. God doesn't place this weight on his chosen ones without also giving them the ability to carry it. While others may collapse under the weight of similar pressures, the chosen ones rise. They rise because they know that this pressure is not their enemy, it is their teacher. It is the forge that sharpens them, the crucible that refines them, and the energy that fuels them toward their ultimate purpose. It activates their potential in ways that would be impossible without it. This divine pressure to rise is also what enables the chosen ones to face the challenges that come with leadership. They are called to step into roles of influence and impact, and those roles require more than just competence. They require character, resilience, and spiritual depth. The pressure they feel internally is not meant to break them, but to prepare them for these high-impact roles. It strengthens their spirit and builds the foundation of their leadership. When the world sees them, they see the success, the accomplishments, and the impact. But what the world doesn't see are the countless nights spent pushing themselves beyond their limits, the times when they felt as though they couldn't go any further, the internal battles they fought when no one was looking. The chosen ones carry an inner pressure that no one else understands, but it is this pressure that enables them to stand firm, to keep going when others would quit, and to rise higher when everyone else is content with staying where they are. This internal pressure is a divine preparation for the future. It's not just about what the chosen ones accomplish today. It's about what they are being prepared for in the days to come. The pressure they feel now is a sign that they are being shaped for something even greater. God is honing their character, strengthening their resolve, and activating their leadership potential, so that when the time comes, they are ready to step into the roles he has prepared for them. So, if you are feeling this internal pressure, this drive to achieve more, to rise beyond what you thought was possible, know this. It is not a curse, it is a blessing. You are being prepared, you are being activated, you are being refined for something great. This pressure is not meant to break you, it is meant to bring out the true potential that lies within you, to equip you for the leadership roles that await you, and to prepare you for the divine destiny that God has called you to fulfill. Embrace it, welcome it, and let it propel you to the next level of your purpose. You were created to rise, and this internal pressure is the divine force that will carry you to new heights. As we journey deeper into the divine traits that define the chosen ones, we arrive at one of the most remarkable and yet often misunderstood forces within them, the supernatural compulsion to rise again. This divine addiction is not something that can be easily explained by the world's standards. It's not a simple act of willpower, nor is it a product of external encouragement or motivation. The chosen ones are driven by something far greater, an unexplainable, relentless force that compels them to rise every time they fall, no matter how many times life knocks them down. It's the kind of strength that defies human understanding, a resilience that cannot be matched by ordinary people. This compulsion to rebuild and rise again is divine reinforcement, an inner power granted only to those with a significant spiritual mission. It is a gift that carries the chosen ones through every trial, every setback, and every storm they face on their journey. The chosen ones have faced their share of obstacles, just like anyone else. They have endured heartbreak, failure, rejection, and loss. There have been times when the weight of their struggles felt unbearable, moments when it seemed like the world was closing in on them, threatening to crush their spirit. Yet, in spite of the seemingly insurmountable odds, they rise again. It's as if something within them refuses to stay down. After every fall, every defeat, they find the strength to get back up and keep moving forward, even when it seems impossible. What sets the chosen ones apart from the rest of the world is not that they don't experience failure or pain, it's that they have an innate ability to rise again. Ordinary people may crumble under the weight of life's challenges, succumbing to despair, but the chosen ones are driven by something much deeper. This drive is not a simple desire to succeed. It's a divine calling, a supernatural strength placed within them by God. Every time they rise, they are not simply picking themselves up, they are being spiritually reinforced, activated, and prepared for the next phase of their mission. This supernatural compulsion is rooted in the understanding that their purpose is far greater than the setbacks they encounter. It's not about bouncing back from failure because of personal ambition or the desire for external recognition. The chosen ones rise because they know that their mission on this earth is too important to be derailed by temporary hardships. They have an unshakable sense of destiny, a deep knowing that no matter how many times they fall, they are not meant to stay down. Their calling compels them to keep going, to keep rising, to keep moving forward toward the divine purpose that awaits them. This divine reinforcement comes directly from God. It's not something that the chosen ones can summon on their own. It is the strength that comes from the Holy Spirit, the supernatural empowerment that enables them to endure trials that would crush anyone else. When they are weary and broken, it is God who lifts them up, fortifies their spirit, and renews their strength. It is this divine strength that gives them the ability to rise again, no matter how many times they have been knocked down. This is not mere human resilience, it is divine resilience, a power that can only be granted by the Creator, given to those who are destined for greatness. The chosen ones are called to rebuild not only for themselves, but for others. Every time they rise, they don't just reclaim what was lost, they also build something new. Their ability to rise again is not just about survival, it's about creating something stronger, something better, something more in alignment with God's plan. When they face adversity, they don't simply recover, they rebuild with purpose. The trials they face refine them, shape them, and strengthen them, allowing them to become a living testimony of God's power and faithfulness. This divine compulsion to rise again is not just about overcoming personal struggles. It's about the strength to lead, to guide, and to serve others in their time of need. The chosen ones are not just warriors for themselves, they are warriors for the kingdom of God. Each time they rise, they carry with them the wisdom and strength gained from their struggles, and they use that wisdom to help others rise as well. They become beacons of hope, shining lights in dark times, showing others that no matter how many times they fall, they too can rise again. There is a divine purpose in every setback, every failure, and every challenge the chosen ones face. They are not random obstacles, they are opportunities for growth, refinement, and preparation. Each time the chosen ones fall and rise again, they are becoming more like Christ, who overcame death itself to fulfill his divine mission. Just as Jesus rose from the grave, so too do the chosen ones rise from the ashes of their struggles, stronger and more equipped for the work ahead. Their ability to rise is a testament to the power of the resurrection, the power of divine redemption, and the power of God's never-ending love. The compulsion to rise again is not something the chosen ones can ignore. It is a force that drives them, that calls them back to their feet every time they stumble. It is the divine spark within them that refuses to accept defeat, that refuses to accept anything less than victory. It is the whisper of God saying, "You are not done yet. Your purpose is not over. Get up and keep moving forward." So, if you feel this divine compulsion within you, this constant drive to rise, no matter how many times life knocks you down, understand that it is part of your calling. It is God's way of reminding you that your purpose is far greater than any obstacle, any setback, or any failure. You are not defined by your falls. You are defined by your ability to rise. This strength, this divine reinforcement, is what will carry you through every trial and equip you for the next level of your journey. Embrace it, own it, and rise, knowing that with every rise, you are stepping closer to the fulfillment of your divine destiny. As we explore the final divine trait that marks the chosen ones, we come to one of the most powerful, and at times, overwhelming forces within them, the unbreakable pull toward God's voice. This relentless connection to the divine isn't just a trait, it is the very foundation of their spiritual journey. No matter how hard the chosen ones try to ignore it, no matter how distant or lost they may feel at times, the voice of God always finds a way to reach them. This pull is not merely a whisper in the wind. It is a constant, undeniable force, a spiritual tether that keeps them grounded in their purpose. It's an invisible but unyielding connection that binds them to their divine calling, ensuring that they will never stray too far from the path God has set before them. For the chosen ones, this connection to God's voice is more than a desire or a wish, it is a need. It is a lifeline. Their very soul is attuned to the divine frequency, and they cannot ignore it, even if they try. There are times when the world seems loud, when distractions pull them in every direction, and when they feel disconnected from their purpose. Yet, even in these moments of confusion or chaos, God's voice cuts through the noise, guiding them back to clarity and peace. It's as if there's an invisible thread that pulls them toward Him, no matter how far they wander. This pull toward divine communication isn't always comfortable. It can be overwhelming, demanding, and even unsettling at times. The chosen ones may find themselves in situations where they feel conflicted or lost, unsure of which direction to take. But in those moments, God's voice is there, quietly whispering the next step, gently leading them in the direction they are meant to go. Sometimes, the voice of God is loud and clear. Other times it's soft and subtle, but it is always present. This connection to the divine serves as a constant reminder that they are not alone, that they are never beyond reach of God's love, wisdom, and guidance. This relentless pull toward God's voice is not a coincidence. It is a divine tether, carefully designed to ensure that the chosen ones never stray too far from their mission. God knows the temptations, distractions, and challenges that will arise throughout their journey, and He has woven this connection into their very being to keep them aligned with their purpose. It's a safeguard, a spiritual GPS that keeps them on track, even when the road ahead is unclear or difficult to navigate. The chosen ones often feel this pull in moments of crisis or uncertainty, when they are most in need of direction. At times, they may not even recognize it as God's voice, but a deep inner knowing, a sense of peace, or a sudden burst of clarity that guides them through confusion. It might come as a thought, a feeling, or a deep conviction that they simply cannot shake. This divine guidance might not always come with an explanation, but it always comes with a sense of peace and certainty that leads them to the right course. In moments of fear or doubt, when the world seems uncertain and unstable, the pull toward God's voice remains constant, grounding them in the truth that they are loved, supported, and led by the Creator. Even when the chosen ones feel disconnected from their faith or lost in their struggles, God's voice has a way of finding them. This divine tether doesn't break, even in the darkest moments. In fact, it is in those times of struggle and hardship that God's voice often becomes the most clear and urgent. It's in the darkest valleys that His guidance becomes the brightest light, illuminating the way forward when everything else seems shrouded in darkness. God's voice doesn't leave the chosen ones, even when they feel abandoned or forsaken. It's always there, gently calling them back to His presence, reminding them that they are never alone. For the chosen ones, this constant connection to God's voice is not just about survival, it is about thriving. It is about walking in alignment with the divine plan, fulfilling the mission they were created to carry out. The voice of God leads them toward their destiny, step by step, moment by moment. It is in listening to this voice that they find true wisdom, discernment, and strength. It's a guidance that surpasses human understanding, a wisdom that comes directly from the Creator. Every word spoken by God carries power, authority, and purpose. His voice is not just a guide, it is a source of divine empowerment that enables the chosen ones to overcome every challenge, face every obstacle, and fulfill every calling placed upon their lives. The beauty of this unbreakable pull toward God's voice is that it is available at all times. It is not limited to moments of prayer or meditation. The chosen ones can hear God's voice in every aspect of their lives, whether in the quiet moments of reflection, during times of action, or even in the midst of chaos. God speaks to them through their thoughts, their feelings, their circumstances, and sometimes even through the words of others. The connection is dynamic, ever-present, and deeply personal. It is the very breath of their existence, the source of their wisdom, and the foundation of their strength. But this connection to God's voice doesn't just impact the chosen one's personal journey, it impacts the world around them as well. As they listen and respond to His voice, they become vessels of divine influence, able to guide others toward truth, light, and love. They are conduits through which God's message is shared, His love is spread, and His wisdom is imparted. The more they tune into God's voice, the more they become effective instruments of His will in the world. Their every action, word, and decision becomes aligned with His divine plan, and they become agents of change, transformation, and healing in the lives of others. This pull toward divine communication is also an invitation to deepen the chosen one's relationship with God. It's a call to intimacy, to knowing God in a way that goes beyond religion or ritual. It is a relationship that transcends the ordinary and enters into the realm of the divine. Every conversation with God is a step closer to His heart, a deeper understanding of His love, and a more profound experience of His grace. The more the chosen ones listen, the more they are transformed into His likeness, reflecting His wisdom, love, and power in everything they do. As you continue to walk in the knowledge of your divine calling, remember this: the pull toward God's voice is not just an occasional nudge. It is the foundation of your journey. It is the divine tether that will never leave you, no matter how far you feel from God. It will always guide you, protect you, and lead you toward your highest purpose. You were created to hear His voice, to be guided by it, and to fulfill the mission He has placed on your life. No matter the challenges or distractions you may face, trust that His voice will always find its way through to you. It will lead you to safety, to wisdom, and to the fullness of your destiny. Embrace this divine connection. Walk in the confidence that you are never alone, that you are always being guided, and that you are exactly where you need to be. The voice of God is always there, calling you toward greater heights, greater wisdom, and greater purpose. As we come to the conclusion of this journey, it's time to reflect on the divine purpose behind everything we've uncovered. The addictions, the tendencies, and the inner compulsions that the chosen ones carry are not random accidents or flaws. These unique traits are a part of a greater divine plan, carefully woven into your spirit by the Creator. You may have struggled with these characteristics, wondering why they seem to set you apart from others, or why they seem to drive you in directions that feel different, sometimes even difficult. But now, after exploring the depths of these addictions, it becomes clear: they are not mistakes. These behaviors, these emotional intensities, these cravings for truth, and the supernatural drive to rise again are tools that God has specifically placed within you to shape your destiny, to prepare you for the purpose you were always meant to fulfill. The world may call these traits weaknesses. Others may label you as too sensitive, too driven, too intense. They may say you care too much, or that you should calm down and be more like everyone else. But in truth, these so-called weaknesses are the very instruments that God uses to refine you, to purify your heart, and to prepare you for your divine mission. You were never meant to blend in. You were created to stand out, to rise above the norms, to break through barriers, and to lead with authenticity, wisdom, and compassion. Your purpose is far greater than what the world can see, and these divine traits are the building blocks of your spiritual strength. What you may have perceived as challenges or burdens in your life are actually part of the divine framework designed to activate the higher calling within you. Every moment of isolation, every emotional intensity, every urge to help others, every relentless drive to achieve, And every time you've had to rise again, they are all pieces of the puzzle that God is assembling to align you with your true destiny. They are the preparation for the work ahead, the lessons you've learned, and the strength you've gained. The divine plan is unfolding, and you are a crucial part of it. It's time to embrace the truth of who you are. You are not a mistake. You were not born by accident. You were handpicked, chosen by God, to walk a path that only you can walk. The divine traits you carry are not burdens. They are blessings in disguise. Every struggle you've faced has been refining you for the greater work that is ahead. You are being activated right now, at this very moment, for a purpose far greater than anything you've imagined. You have been given the tools, the strength, and the guidance to fulfill your divine mission. The time is now for you to fully embrace your calling and step into the person you were always meant to become. The strength you carry within you is not just for your benefit. It's meant to be shared with the world. You are a vessel of healing, a beacon of truth, a leader in times of darkness, and a warrior in the battle for spiritual transformation. Your unique combination of emotional depth, spiritual discernment, and divine purpose is what equips you to walk the path set before you. And as you walk this path, know that you are not walking alone. God's presence is with you every step of the way, strengthening you, guiding you, and preparing you for every challenge and every victory that lies ahead. This is the moment when everything aligns. This is the moment when you stop questioning why you are the way you are, and instead, you begin to understand that everything about you has been designed with purpose. Your sensitivity, your drive, your need for truth, your resilience, these are the tools that God has gifted you to walk in the fullness of your calling. The world needs you to rise, to be the person you were destined to become. And you are ready. You are ready, because God has already equipped you with everything you need. Now, it's time to step into your divine purpose. As we close, I want to invite you to take a prophetic step of faith. I want you to declare with conviction, I rise by purpose. By commenting these words, you are sealing the truth of your divine calling. You are affirming that you know you were created for something higher, that you understand the purpose behind your struggles, and that you are ready to rise and fulfill that purpose. I also encourage you to share this message with others. Like, subscribe, and spread this video to those who need to hear it. Share this awakening with those around you, whether it's friends, family, or others who may be questioning their own divine calling. The more we share, the more we empower others to step into their own truth, to rise in their purpose, and to activate the divine plan God has for their lives. This is just the beginning. The awakening is happening now. Embrace it. Walk in it. Rise by purpose. Your journey is just starting, and the best is yet to come.